because there used to be more of a gig poster kind of, in the 60s it was the thing with the old psychedelia concert prints. You know, I didn't know any of this, I didn't really care. I just had come across stuff with bands that I liked, and I just thought, I want to make this work. And of course I didn't really know what I was doing. You know, it took us a while, but we did find somewhere where we could screen print, and eventually, this is the first thing I ever printed. So I don't even remember how many years ago it was, but we found somewhere where we could pay to be members. We started creating posters. I don't know if anyone has got to do any screen printing. This is messy, or this is bad. So it's, you know, we started to work and started to learn stuff, and there's nobody telling us, and it wasn't like a job. It was really fun, and it was the first sort of work that we're doing, and everyone's pushing one another to kind of do better work. Weirdly, you know, you work at something and you get better at it. You're not, it's like you can be taught something and you don't take it in, but you work at something because you want to, and you don't realise that you're learning stuff. But we were learning to be better at it. So they had the Americans were putting on these events called Flat Stuff, which is like a big poster convention where all the kind of big artists have their posters, and they can hang out. There's plenty of beer and barbecue and all this stuff. And people collect the work because it's kind of like, we realise it's kind of a collector scene. People are interested in this stuff, and they're going to do. We read on like the Gig Posters forums. They're going to do a European Flat Stuff because normally they're over in America, and we're just like, well, we have to go. We have to, you know, it's going to be awesome. It's over in Hamburg in Germany. Never been to Germany. But solid, let's just go. And we went. So, hang on, maybe we didn't go. There we go. And this is us on the Reeperbahn, which is a really horrible part of the red light district in beautiful Hamburg. This big poster show, all the different artists from around the world, and it just blew my mind. The quality of work, just, it's the kind of thing where you go and see what everyone else has been doing, and you just think, either I don't know if I'm inspired to continue or just immediately give up. Because, you know, the people who've been doing this for a lot of years and they've honed their craft, the posters were just really, really something else. You know, and for big bands, you kind of like thinking, you know, how do you get in touch with bands and get to do stuff, work at that level? So bear in mind, at this time, I still have a crap job. You know, I don't do this for a living. This is just, it's what I want to do. But I worked a variety of jobs. So for a while, worked for the Department of Health as a civil servant. Very strange. I could do like a presentation on all the weirdness that went on there. I eventually did get a job as a graphic designer, but I was made redundant. In fact, I was made redundant from 10 jobs. Like, it was almost like something was just saying, don't work for somebody else, leave all this and just do what you want. And I kind of started, you know, I didn't think of that at the time, I just thought, this is either unlucky or like a record or something. Eventually, I worked as a while for a project manager. I started to kind of get organised, I started to like work, because I started to see the more I could get organised and good at things and come up with a process, the more I could do this kind of stuff. And it's almost like it didn't really matter what sort of job I was doing. Although after a while, you know, the last job that I had, I was design and brand manager for a company, and I designed the role. I'd gone in and had an old role there, and I basically just said, here's what the company needs. It needs somebody to design and manage the website, the branding, social media, and I'm going to do the job. Here's how much to pay me. And there we go. And they said yes. And I did that for a while. But it got to a point with the posters work, when you design stuff that you love doing and you get better at it, it makes you a better designer for all the other stuff that other people might want you to do. So I was actually getting paid client design work, just odd little things every now and again, music related, sometimes it'd be other stuff. And then on the flip side of that, that was making my posters more interesting. People were seeing those. And I continued to do the flat stock events, and a bunch of us UK guys who were getting more organised and thinking there's something in the value of these posters, that it's not just kind of for fun, there is an art form here. Like, I don't like the word movement, because I just think it was something that seemed like important to us at the time, so that's why we did it. Anyway, eventually, I left my job, and that's what I do now. I do design work. I go and do these events. I talk to people about, trying my best not to make it sound like I'm saying you should quit college, you shouldn't, you should work hard. But ultimately, you can do what you want and focus on what you want to do, and that's what you do. So this is what I do. So that's kind of a bit of a boring history lesson. Thank you for paying attention to that. As a reward, that's a picture of my cat. So there's a certain energy, like obviously I'm called Army of Cats, so I have to I like putting a picture of my cat in every presentation I do because it's good to see mass country. And there's an energy about cats, as I'm sure you're all aware. The internet is powered by pictures of cats. And that is a kind of a halfway point. I feel better about seeing that. So we'll move on. Does everybody regard the other chef? We all got enough?
Yeah.
Okay.